My most recent journalistic investigation has been months in the making, and it is a journey which involved the most hideous and unimaginable crimes, the most callous of criminals. It was a steep descent into the hidden shadows beneath the bright city lights, a trip into the dark, treacherous underbelly of San Francisco, a place most people try to pretend doesn't exist. It all began one cold, drizzling November night. I was looking for a scoop on the Duffy Bertoli case. Duffy was a cold-blooded gangster. He and his thugs were responsible for a dozen murders, but the cops couldn't touch him. I knew the San Francisco Police Department had put Jack Evans on the case. I intended to follow Evans and see where it led. I knew Evans would be in this part of town tracking down a lead. Don't ask me how I knew. As a newspaper man, my sources are strictly confidential. Anyway, if Evans was around, I couldn't miss him. There wasn't a soul in sight. Then suddenly, there he was. He had the hard countenance of a man who's washed down life with cigarettes and cheap gin. His face was like mud and bricks, and twice as ugly.
What do you want, Crosby?
He was clearly relieved to see me.
I'm after a story, Evans. I'm looking for the lowdown, see?
If I give you the lowdown, how do I know you'll keep it on the down low?
There never was a newspaper man as lowdown as me, and that's on the up and up.
Well, why don't you keep your head up and your chin down?
That sounds like a good way to get a migraine.
We walked to Evans' office a few blocks away.
I guess you know by now I'm trying to get something I can pin on Duffy Bertoli.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Duffy.
Duffy hasn't heard much from anyone else. Anyway, I got a lead from some stool pigeon who goes by the name of Rats.
Where'd you find him?
I caught up to him at one of those dingy gin mills down by the docks. He had already downed half a bottle of giggle juice and was pretty sauced. But I flashed him some cabbage and he spilled the beans.
Juice, sauce, cabbage, beans. Sounds just like what my ma used to make.
Smart, huh?
So, Rats, huh? How'd he get a name like that?
When he was born, his father took one look at his face and that's all he could say.
Pal, it's a strange city.
Right. So Rats tells me that Duffy's planning a big job. Wouldn't say what, but he's hijacked enough dynamite to crack open Fort Knox.
Dynamite?
Yeah, a whole crate full.
Sounds like this case is gonna be a blast.
Still cracking wise, huh, Crosby?
A truly wise man thinks himself a fool.
And what do you think?
I'm a newspaper man, mister. I never think anything.
We hailed a cab and drove to a warehouse near the docks. I wasn't sure which killed me more, the frigid San Francisco wind or the sense of foreboding that oozed from the side of that dilapidated building like sap from a sick tree. My nerves were wound tighter than something tight and really windy.
An apoplectic watch spring. Yeah, that's good.
We found a side door ajar and entered, careful not to make a sound.
Listen, someone's coming.
Overhead.
We looked on in horror as the two most hardened criminals I ever clapped eyes upon strode through the door. They looked as mean as a nest of snakes and just as deadly. They'd sell their grandmother's soul for a slug of gin and throw in their great-grandmother's soul free of charge.
All right! Did you boys have the dynamite?
Yeah, boys. We took it down to the docks.
Hey? What? I asked about dynamite, not clocks!
No, boys. I said they're taking the dynamite to the docks.
Oh, yeah, right.
Say, do those guys look familiar to you?
No.
Say, that dynamite will blast through the vault of the Federal Reserve Bank like a hot knife through butter. This'll be the biggest job we pulled since we held up that joint in New Jersey.
Eh?
New Jersey!
What do you mean, you noisy? I haven't said a word!
Oh, never mind, Duffy. Say, I was talking to Rats. He said that some gumshoe by the name of Evans has been sniping round. And that two-bit reporter, Crosby, has been sticking his big ugly nose where his big ugly nose don't belong.
Huh? That Detective Evans can snoop his way out of a paper bag! We're gonna take the dynamite, blow the vault, and mow down anyone who gets in our way! Then I'll be the richest man this... this side of Kansas!
But what if they do sniff something out? Rats was saying...
We'll burn that bridge when we come to it!
Croyce, You mean we'll cross that bridge when we come to it?
What are you on about? Stick to your job! I don't pay you to be the idiom police!
Okay, boss. Okay.
Right! Once we get into the vault, the cash is just bird feed! It's those government bonds we're after! $50 million!
And this is the 30s, folks, back when $50 million was...
50 million American smackaroonies! Boy, that's a lot of dough.
Now you sure you can crack the safe once we get in the vault? The dynamite will only get us so far! Those bonds are no good to us as confetti!
Of course I'm sure, boss. Remember, I got magic fingertips.
Okay! Those bonds are the gravy train! And you know what the gravy train brings? A whole lot of gravy!
We've got to stop those guys.
Yeah, I know. Did you hear what that creep said about my nose?
I thought I heard something!
Nah, Daffy, you ain't heard nothing in years.
You got a light?
Dynamite!
I got it!
No, I got it!
Take it! You take it! You grabbed it! You bought it!
Hal, I want my money back!
You always wanted bang for your buck! Catch! Put it out! How? I don't know, swallow it!
I can't! My doctor said high explosives are bad for my digestion!
This way! Over there!
But there was no time for dilly-dallying. We sprang into action, just grateful to be alive.
I wish I was dead!
I wish you were dead too.
Evans jumped in a cab and hightailed it to the bank while I rushed to the nearest phone to call the the police. At last the plot was averted and the Debbie Bertolli gang was locked up, and the good people of San Francisco could once again rest with their minds at ease.